All right, so I hope that makes sense. I'm going to hit cancel here, and I'm going to close out of this image. I'm done with my robots. Now, let's move on to resizing for the web. I'm going to open up another image here. It's inside your Chapter 3 folder, inside your Project Files folder. It's called windows.jpg. Go ahead and open that guy up. There he is there. I'm going to use my F key on my keyboard to make this guy fill the screen. I'm going to go back into my image size dialog box. Image size. There he is there. Now, I want to use this image inside a banner, which is going to appear across the top of a web layout. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the width of this image to 990 pixels. So I don't really care what the physical size of the image is, so long as I have my pixel dimensions and my resolution is low. It's only 72 pixels per inch. Good stuff. I'm going to click on OK. There it is there. Now, I'm going to go and create a new image inside Photoshop. We did this not too long ago. I'm going to go File, New, and I'll call this Banner. I'm going to set my unit of measurement here to pixels, and I want this guy to be 990 pixels by 100 pixels. His resolution is going to be 72 pixels per inch, RGB for my color mode or my color space. I'll click on OK. I'll head up to my Arrange documents. I want to float all in Windows. There's my two images there. And I'm going to take this guy here and I'm going to drag him into this other image window. Now, before I do this, I'm going to make sure that I have my Move tool turned on inside the toolbox. I'll click inside the Windows document, drag over into the other image, hold down the Shift key. Holding down the Shift key, make sure that I drop the image directly in the center of this new image window. Something like this. All right, we're looking good. Now, all I'm going to do is drag up and down inside this window. See, I have the whole image in there. I'm going to drag up and down, but if I hold down Shift, that's going to lock it, so I'm not going to move it too far. And maybe I decide I want my banner looking something like that. Maybe I can even use my arrow keys on the keyboard if I want to tap this guy around. Maybe I want more of that wood beam at the top there, maybe something like that. Actually, that looks pretty cool, something like that. Maybe I'll throw some text on there and maybe a couple of effects, maybe some other images, create a little montage there, something like that. So there's one neat trick for resizing images for use on the web. Good stuff. All right. So at this point, I could go back to the File menu and go back down to that Save for Web and Devices dialog box, which I mentioned in a previous chapter. And inside that dialog box, I could use the tools to save this guy out for use on a web page. So you can go ahead and do that if you like. I'm going to minimize this guy because there's something else I want to do to my windows.jpg. I want to resize him now for print. So you saw a technique for resizing for the web. Here's another technique for resizing for print. So the first thing that I want to do here is I want to revert this guy back to the last time I saved him, F12, or underneath the File menu, choose Revert. Here we are. I'm going to go back into my image size dialog box. Now my goal here is I want to create an 8x10 print. Now follow me on the magical mystery tour here. I'm going to show you some cool things. I'm going to set my document size, my width to 12 inches and my resolution to 300. So I'm giving myself more than enough space to work with here. I'll click on OK. There's the resizing. Now for the fun part. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here. I'll hit my F key to fill the screen. There he is there. I'm holding down my space bar to grab that hand tool here. Now inside my toolbox, I'm going to grab my marquee tool. Remember this guy? My rectangular selection tool. I'll grab him. Now up on the options bar here, I have a style menu and I can choose different sizes, different ways that I want to size my rectangular selection. So I could go normal here if I wanted to, but I'm going to go fixed ratio. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my ratio to 4:3. That's like the ratio of a standard television set. So 4:3. Now, if I click and drag here, you can see, even though I drag sort of up and down or to the left and right, it's locked me into that ratio. Now I can bring my cursor inside my selection, my marching ants, and I can pan this box around wherever I want. Maybe I want to crop it off, something like this, right? Or move it up into the top right corner or something. Or maybe I want to go with 16:9, which is like a widescreen ratio, something like this. Click and drag this guy out. Okay, so you can monkey around with your ratios, but instead I'm going to go with a fixed size here. I'm going to go 10 by 8. In fact, my values are already in there for me. So make sure you have 10 and 8 in there. And now what I'm going to do, rather than clicking and dragging, I'm just going to single click and see how my selection snaps to that size, right? So I can decide where I want this 8 by 10 print, which was my goal originally, if you recall. Maybe I decide I want something like that. I'm going to try and center those windows inside my selection box here. Perfect. Looks good. All right, I'm going to go up to my image menu up at the top, and I'm going to choose crop. Wonderful. There's my cropped image. I'm going to go up to the select menu and I'm going to choose deselect to get rid of those marching ants. We'll talk about selections in the coming chapters. I'll tell you all about how they work, but there's a way to use your selection tools to create very precisely cropped images for different photographic sizes.